Hey members, Curt here for another episode of Curt's Corner. And before I dive into the conversation and topic with my special guest, Mr. Bob Muenz, I'm going to go over a couple items here at the club or down in the golf shop. As mentioned last week and in the email, we have a Zexio fitting day this Sunday. So please give us a call. We have plenty of spots available for late morning / early afternoon with Simon and Zexio up on the practice facility. And also next week we have our Callaway fitting day. The link's in there. I've already seen 3 or 4 fittings get booked, so just use that link. So again, Callaway, use the link. If you have any issues, call us. And with Zexio, just call us. We still do the old paper pencil method with them. So again, we're happy to get you fit. If not, just give us a buzz down here. One of us will get you some demo equipment, fitting equipment. Adam, myself, Brooks, whomever, we'll take you out and get you squared away. So we're rocking and rolling down the golf shop. However, I want to dive into the more important subject. Many of you know the longtime St. Albans member, Mr. Bob Muenz, and we appreciate you being here to talk about this book that you just released about a month ago, and it's about St. Albans, and it's not necessarily about the golf. It's about the 100+ years of history that this property has seen. And so Mr. Muenz, being an individual that lives on the property, longtime member, has taken a lot of time to write a book. So I have a few questions for Mr. Muenz, and we're going to dive right into it. So Bob, I think what everybody wants to know is what really sparked your interest to sit down, write a book, take time out of your life to give everybody this feedback?
Well, about 20 years ago when I started playing golf here, you're teeing off, you're playing right next to 4 of the cemeteries on Tavern Creek. And they really hold a lot of historic value. Some of the people buried in there were buried 250 years ago. And that it just piqued my interest, and I started doing some research on exactly who they were, why they came here, and how they lived.
Yeah, and it's very unique. If you haven't seen it, and most of you have, if you're watching this, because you're probably tied to the St. Albans community, but my 7-year-old daughter, when she's on property, she always wants to see the cemeteries. Very unique, and yeah, to go back that far is incredible.
Well, and of all the golf courses I played in the country and around the world, I've never really been in that position to be right next to these cemeteries, or any cemetery, as a matter of fact, and the history in this community is unbelievable.
So can you give everybody a little bit of Dr. Kincaid and how his relationship to St. Albans was?
Well, Dr. Kincaid was born in 1785, and he was a surgeon, and he fought in the Napoleonic Wars, was captured by Napoleon. He was rescued a few weeks later by the Duke of Wellington. He was later knighted, and he later, about 15 years later, he came along with his 4 brothers to the United States to carve out a whole new life and set up his medical practice in St. Louis. Became very successful, very wealthy, and had a very interesting personal life, of which his wife here is number 3. And he had a total of 12 children, and it was just a most interesting. You have to read the book to find out about all the different stories, because of any central character in the book, it's Dr. Kincaid, and he named St. Albans. So.
Interesting. Dr. Kincaid's got me beat by 11 and 2. I'm on wife 1 still and 1 child. 11 more years she's out of my house. Still be on the payroll though.
Right.
So switching gears a hair, Lewis and Clark came through our territory?
Yes, the book starts in 1804, the second day of the expedition of Lewis and Clark. They stopped here at Tavern Cave to pick up supplies from Tavern Cave. It was cool in the cave, and obviously they had been storing supplies there. So history could actually be changed a little bit to say that Lewis and Clark expedition started here in St. Albans. They started in St. Charles, the next day they were here, but they spent a couple days here. And Lewis did a pretty stupid thing even back then. He climbed 300 feet up the Tavern Rock, which you can see, incidentally, from the number 12 tee box on Tavern. And he was doing some exploring and slipped and fell, and he barely saved himself, but he had a 300-foot fall to the river and certain death. So but the expedition went on, and that was the beginning of, actually the beginning of the book and the beginning of a tremendous amount of history in the founding of the community.
Yeah, there's so much history here, and obviously Bob Muenz has taken plenty of time away from his life and rounds of golf, so he could share that with everybody. Yeah. And I know many of you in the past month have came by when when Bob released his book during the tradition. Our member guest, many have picked it up. We're still selling them, day by day. We still got some coming in. But Bob, why don't you share with everybody how they can go about getting a book if they haven't yet?
Well, we have them here in the Pro Shop. We also have them at the History Museum in Washington, the Missouri History Museum. There's no online availability right now except through the Pro Shop, but whether you're a member or not a member, you can come into the Pro Shop and buy them. And I want to say one important thing about the proceeds. 100% of the proceeds, not the profits, but 100% of the proceeds are going towards the renovation of these cemeteries. There's 72 different graves, 52 of which have been identified, and they need some work on them. And unlike the cemeteries that are on the properties of St. Albans community, these are attached to the golf course, and they have to be handled with legally correct and with a lot of care. So it has to be done a different way, and we need some funds, and this is a way to get the funds. So it's really a non-profit opportunity for everyone to participate in. So.
Well, Bob, I think we all say we appreciate you taking your time to give the history. Many people just think of St. Albans, they think two of the best golf courses around, period. I don't disagree with them, but there's a boatload more information. Again, the Lewis and Clark story, the Kincaid family, the other grave sites. It's a very unique piece of property. I'm honored to call it my second home for going on 10 years, and I know Bob and other members and residents. So, Bob, thank you for sharing it. We still have books here. If we run out, we will bug you and say, Bob, we need a refill.
Exactly.
So, Bob, thank you again for sharing. We appreciate it.
Thank you. And there's a lot of juicy tidbits in the book. A lot of things that normally happen in a community with a lot of secrets, and so it's a lot of fun. It's a fun read.
Yeah. So come check it out. And remember, the more books you buy, the more you save. We'll see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.